Alright, it's been a weird like past 24 hours. I'm like on just like a send up around Central Florida fishing, just kind of accidentally. I ended up just helping my buddy Zeke and Ian out and had to bring them something up in Orlando, and so I was just like, oh, I'll just fish somewhere in Central Florida this morning, or yesterday afternoon, and then I ended up driving into like Winter Park and stayed with one of my friends who lives in Winter Park with the boat, and then this morning I'm fishing on a lake in the St. John's River chain. Actually the first time I've ever fished St. John's, so I'm kind of excited. Don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of drove around and was trying to mark and see if I could find some fish, and right now I marked a few fish on my down scan, so just rolling a little swim bait nice and slow in there, and we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. You know, the game plan right now is to fish around here for some largemouth. There is actually, probably to a lot of people's surprise, there is striper, like striped bass in the St. John's chain. Now I don't know if there's any in this lake that I'm in right now. I suppose there could be, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Target some largemouth, target some striper, and if I'm having the energy, we'll probably make a quick jet back over to the coast and go and fish for some big giant redfish and giant trout. But right now, I'd love to see if we can figure out to catch a largemouth bass. Or actually, I'd probably prefer to catch a striper, but a big largie would also be pretty sweet. We're fishing in just like 9 feet of water right now over some like it's very bowly lake. By that I mean there's not a ton of depth change. It's just like shallow on the edges, and it's like 10 feet deep in the middle. So we're just slow rolling the swim bait around and we'll see what happens. But it is a beautiful day, and from what I understand, it's pouring rain back home. So we kind of lucked out in our weird decision to come up here. So I've been out here for about 2.5 hours now and have not even had a sniff. When I first got out here, I fished out in the open for like literally 5 minutes and then decided to go shallow. And I fished along some docks and shallow grass for an hour and a half or so and literally did not get a single bite. Just throwing some small Texas rigs, small craws, a few jerk baits, and not even like a bite or a little fish. And that makes me think that these fish just aren't shallow right now. It's like a nice day, like it's like 74 degrees, but the water temp is in the low 50s depending on where you are in the lake. So it's been kind of weird. So right now I'm just throwing a medium diving crank across the middle out here over some contours. You can even call it that. This lake is basically just a fat bowl. Like I'm not even marking grass, I'm not seeing grass, I'm not snagging grass throwing this crank. It's just like a mud bottom bowl. So I don't really know what to think. I feel like if we can find like some good indentations or some good depth change, we could probably find some fish, but I've driven around a lot and it's just like nothing. It's just like a gradual slope. Ooh, I just got hit right there. Holy crap, I just got hit. That was the first hit I've had all day. I'm like shocked. There it is. If that's what I think it is, I'm gonna be so stoked. I'm pretty sure that's a hybrid. I actually think, I can't tell right now. No, it's just a big largemouth. Eat the boat. Oh, stud largie, stay down. Stud, stud, stud. This is the most football of all largemouths I've ever seen. He's barely hooked. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Yes. Oh, this is the most obese looking bass I've ever caught in my life. Straight up football right there. Oh my gosh, he is so fat. I mean, this fish probably is like 2.5 pounds just because how fat he is. This is a stumpy little fish right there. He's like probably 14 inches long, but probably 12, 11 inches around. That is awesome. Wow, slow day. Might have finally figured out. I'm looking at a bald eagle sitting on the bank, and he's looking at me holding his largemouth up. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. Boom. Well, there's one. Hopefully there is more. That was funny. I got bumped on the cast prior, tossed it back in, and I watched that fish actually come up and eat it. I didn't even feel him bite, but I saw him come up and go. Oh man, that just changed my tune real quick. I was like sitting here running through my head, okay, what's plan B now? Like, what am I gonna do here? I would love to catch another big largie, but secretly I'm kind of hoping to catch a hybrid or even a striper. There's probably more hybrids in here than there are striper, but you know, wintertime would be the best time for striper to be a little more active in a lot of these lakes down here, but I'm happy to catch anything at the moment, to be honest. It's been a slow start, and catching that fat little son of a gun definitely picked my spirits up way big time. So we'll keep working what we just caught our fish with and try to stick with that and see if we can find another fish up in this grass here. Oh man. All right, I'm like forcing myself to stick to throwing this twitch bait now that I finally caught a fish on it, and I am like infamous for changing lures after catching a fish on it, because in my head I'm always like, oh well, I just caught a fish on this twitch bait, I bet a lipless crankbait would work really well too, like something the same profile or size, but I literally just caught a fish on this, I should just stick to it. But I do it all the time. My buddy Scott Rose gives me so much crap for it, and sometimes it's awesome, like, and it works out in my advantage, because like, oh, the wheels start turning, like, oh, I caught a fish on this twitch bait that's like the size of a lipless crank or a shad. Maybe if I throw a lipless crank, it's gonna work better, or, you know, something like that. But you can really screw yourself sometimes. It's like, I finally have my first solid lead. I need to force myself to just stick to it and try to catch another fish on this twitch bait here. But I'm just like, I'm so bad about it, and most people are the exact opposite, where like they will stick to a bait and will not change if they believe it will work. Where I have probably today have thrown, I can literally see them because I have them laying out in my cooler, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 different things today, and have just been like flying through baits trying to figure out what's gonna work. And now that I finally found it, I'm like already trying to talk myself out of it, but I need to just stay on it and see if we can catch some more fish on it. All right, let me catch you guys up to speed here. Right now, we are on a different lake, and it is like 3 days later. I was editing the video, and I was like, man, I was really happy. Like, I thought the footage was really pretty, and I was stoked on the fat bass I caught. I was like, I really want to just catch more fish. Like, I need to add more fish to this video. And so Zeke has joined me here. We're got probably about 2.5 hours or so to fish. We're on just the most beautiful body of water probably in all of Florida, and I'm just so excited to fish. Hopefully we'll catch some bass. There's hybrids in here. There is big giant bowfin. Really anything you can think of lives in here, and so we'll see what we can find out. Zeke and I are gonna hop up on the front of the boat and start flipping some Texas rigs along some giant stumps, and it should be a pretty sweet time. But let's see if we can get on some fish here. I'm very excited. All right, here's the game plan. I have a Biospawn Exo Swim right here as a bait you can actually get from Catchco. I'll leave a link down below if you're into that. So Like the setup basically is there's a ton of really good looking grass along here, and mixed in it is really nice cypress stumps. So have a Texas rig set up for just flipping along the stumps. Zeke is on a Texas rig. I have one rigged up on another bait caster, and then rod with just braid with this exo swim to burn through this grass to see if there's any fish staged up in some of this grass, which I have a feeling there should be. But let's see what happens. Swim bait with an underspin. I cut off that rod. Oh my gosh, I just got freaking hooked right there. Okay, underspin's the way to go. Good thought. That was my second cast with this. Right now I am throwing a underspin made by Ketchka. It's called a flashbang. It's a weighted swim bait hook with an underspin on it. It's been a very, very quiet afternoon so far. We've only been fishing for 35 minutes probably, but put the underspin on, second cast got hit, so that is progress in the right direction here. There's a fish. Yes. Woo. Whee. All right. First fish of the afternoon sesh here on the flashbang. Just a nice underspin, ripping it. I was getting a little nervous, and then I tied on that underspin, got bit my second cast, and then threw up around a log about 5-10 minutes later. Another one. So, white moving baits, maybe a little bit of vibration is the key here. All right, beautiful, just little beautiful little 1-pounder right there. Great way to start. I do have scale with me, so if we catch a big one, we'll weigh him.